Hi planner people, my name is Sarah and this is my channel Read, Write, Plan, where we talk about all things reading, writing, and planning. So if you're a reader, a writer, or a planner, I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and follow me along my journey. So I started this channel at the end of last year with the intention of holding myself accountable and sort of getting my shit together. Spoiler alert, I did not, in fact, get my shit together in 2025, as you can tell from this pile of planners here. So I want to talk today a little bit about planner chaos versus planner peace. Will I ever get to planner peace, or am I going to stay in planner chaos? I would like to talk about each of these journals that I have been in this year, what's working and what's not working. I have basically 4 sections of my life that I keep journals in: my personal planning, my work planning, my personal journal, and my reading journal. So I'm going to go through all 4 sections of that, what's working, what's not working, and then what I plan to do moving forward. So I will leave timestamps below, so if there's one of these journals that you're interested in, you can skip ahead to that. If you'd like to listen to me chat about what's been working and what hasn't been working, I'd love it if you'd stick around. So I'm going to move these all out of the way and then we'll get into it. So the first planner that I want to talk about is the only one that I've really stuck with all year, the one that's really been working for me, and that is my reading journal. So I am using an Archer and Olive B6 journal for my reading journal. And this has just been working out really well for me. I have some introduction pages here, and then I go into basically just summaries and thoughts about each book that I have read. I will do sort of a more in-depth flip through of this and talk about some of the books that I've read this year so far in a future video. So if you are interested in my reading journal, you can look out for that. But this one has been working really well for me. Everything's been going great. So this is one thing that I do not have any plans on changing. And as a matter of fact, I would love to get another Archer and Olive B6 journal to keep my reading journal in for next year. They're a little hard to get, so I'm going to keep my eyes open. If anybody has one that they would like to get rid of, let me know. Okay. Now, the next thing that I have that has sort of been working for me is my personal journal. This little Midori A6 journal is my personal journal, and I just will put some stickers in it as I go. And the idea was to kind of go back and forth between just kind of free journaling, and then I also have this Rituals for Transformation book that I have been looking at the prompts for and then writing about in this journal. And I think it's a great system, and I think it's going to work really well for me. It did work really well for me January and February, and then I sort of fell off. So I'm going to try to jump back into this starting now and get myself back into that routine of journaling. All right, next we have my work planner. I'm a teacher and I teach for a cyber school, and I was using the Erin Condren A5 Daily Duo. And I've used this for the past couple of years, and I have nothing bad to say about it. The only thing is, as you can see, some days I just didn't use it, or some days I used it and I didn't use it to its fullest capability. So I kind of want to make a change for next year. The problem is I couldn't find anything that I really thought would work for me. So what I did was I took just a notebook. This is an Erin Condren 7x9 notebook in Doc Grid. And I set it up, and I haven't completely set it up, but what I did was I set up the monthlies, and I just counted out enough spaces for each month to put weeklies in instead of dailies. And I've already put in all of the things for next year. And then August, I didn't set up any weeklies because we don't actually start with kids until September. So what I did was for September, I set up how I think I want to use this planner for next year. So I teach 2 classes. I teach regular chemistry and honors chemistry. So I have a section for the topics. I have today 8 through 3 o'clock because I work 8 to 4. I don't have a traditional schedule like most regular brick and mortar schools where we have, class periods. I don't really have that. So I do have class times and meeting times and things like that. And each day is a little bit different. So I have timed section. I have a to-do section. I have a notes section where I have to write down and log interactions that I have with kids. So a little notes section for that. And then just some more note space here. I set each one up for September, but then I did not set them up for the rest of the year because I don't know whether or not this is going to work for me. So this is just sort of a test run, I guess you would say. Will this work for me next year? I'm not really sure. It's bigger than I'm used to. I'm used to an A5. Although it is a lot thinner. So if you take a look, it's a lot smaller. It's got a lot smaller ring. It's a lot thinner. This was only a half year, so I had 2 of these for the whole year. And there were some things that didn't work for me, so like I took out the Saturday, Sunday ones to kind of give me a little bit more space. But as much as I loved this, and I still love it. And, who knows, I may come back at the beginning of the next school year and say, oh, hey, I bought an Erin Condren A5 Daily Duo again. But we're going to give this one a try. Again, this is just a dot grid notebook that I've kind of tried to make my own. So that is my thought process for next school year. Again, this is the end of June, and I won't start this until August. So I'm putting this away and hoping for the best. Okay, now we get into the true chaos in my planner chaos, and that is my personal planner. Now, this is the planner that I bought at the beginning of the year, and I was obsessed with it. It's the Dream Book and Planner by the Dragontree company. I have full flip-throughs of it. I have my setup of it. If you want to take a look at it, it's a fantastic planner. I really, really wanted this planner to work for me. I set it up. I had all the things. I did all of my, work for my goals. I thought it was really going to work for me. I got into January. I set up all the things. I got the first couple of weeks in, and I loved this planner, and I really wanted it to work. But by the end of January, it wasn't really working. You can see that's not any useful planning, right? So what is wrong with this planner? Well, there's nothing really wrong with this planner other than it just doesn't fit my life. And I was trying to fit my life into this planner instead of using a planner that fit my life. First off, it's way too big. I knew when I bought it that I thought it was going to be too big, but I thought I would make it work. Second off, I hate wire-o binding, especially with a hard chipboard cover, because I mean, just trying to open it and close it now, it's hard to use. I don't have a very big desk, so it doesn't sit well on my desk. And even when I was getting ready to film this video, I was going through it and I was like, oh, I love this planner so much. Maybe I can make it work. And then I was like, you know what? No, it doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. I want it to work. There's a difference between wanting something to work and something actually working. So we're going to put this away. We're not going to look at it again. And we're going to look at the things that I've been trying to make work since I basically quit this in like February. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to try was going back to a bullet journal. which I've done bullet journals before. This is an A5 bullet journal. It is 160 GSM, but it's a random one that I got off of Amazon. I got as far as sort of penciling in what I was going to do with each page. I think I set up one monthly, never actually did anything with it. I don't know. I think I was just looking for something a little bit smaller. And then the other thing is my daughter wanted a Brixley bag. And if you have seen the Brixley bags, this is actually the larger of the two Brixley bags. So I bought her one and I bought myself one too. And I thought, I kind of want a planner that fits in here because I'm not usually a purse girl, but I kind of want to be. And I want to have all the things with me all the time. So I decided to skip this and find something that would fit in there. So my original thought was, well, I love my B6 from Archer and Olive, and this would fit. But like I said before, you can't really get Archer and Olives that easily, especially in the B6 size. They were all sold out. So I went to Amazon and I found this Scribbles That Matter B6. It's got 120 GSM paper. I actually really love this paper. It's a little bit thinner, but it also doesn't have any, you can see I used a darker kind of highlighter there, and it doesn't really have any show through. So I tried this and I set it all up and I kind of adored it for a little bit, but there's a couple reasons that I decided to switch. It's really big for a B6. So if you take a look at the difference between the Archer and Olive and this one, it's a lot thicker. It has a lot more pages. It's kind of really heavy. It doesn't feel like it should be that much heavier than this, but it really is. It's really heavy, and it's just not that cute. Let's be real. A lot of the reasons that we have these fun planners is because they're cute, and it's just not that cute. Scribbles That Matter, I believe, has discontinued the B6. You can still get some of them on Amazon. I was going to look at getting one of the other colors, but I don't really like the way that the straps are a different color from the cover, which is why I went with the black one to begin with, but it's just not that much fun. It fits in my purse, but it basically takes up all the room in my purse, so there's really not that much room for anything else. So I decided to try something else. I had this B6 Slim, this little Midori B6 Slim that I have in a paper cover, and I was going to set this up. And again, I got to penciling in some of the things, but that was about as far as I got with that because I had this little A6, also a Midori, and I just kind of love this little A6. And I already had this little cover, and so I decided to try setting this up. And I actually adore this little planner. I love the size of it. I love the paper. I kind of love everything about it. I took this off of an old Hobonichi notebook. It was just the cover, and I kind of used this as a place marker / pencil board, and it's just really cute. So, and I love this, and I have it all set up for the most part. I started it in June. Actually, I didn't even start it in June. I started it late June because there's the monthly, and I think this week, I set it up for this week, and I set it up for next week. And I love it, except there's not really enough room for notes. I've already filled up next week's notes, and I haven't even gotten through this week yet. So I don't know. And then I was watching a video. Well, actually, I've been watching videos about ring planners and pocket ring planners. And I've kind of been obsessed with the idea of a pocket ring planner. So I wanted to get a pocket ring planner, but for like weeks. Before I even set this up, I've been looking at pocket ring planners, but I didn't want to spend money on something that I didn't know was going to work. So I was hemming and hawing about it for several weeks. And then I found an Amazon gift card that I didn't know I had. And so I thought, well, this was fate, right? So I bought this little guy. This is a Filofax Pocket Domino Soft. It's adorable. Things that I really love is that I'll be able to put all the kind of deco in it that I want. I'll be able to separate things. I'll be able to have a dedicated notes section. All the things that I kind of am missing in here. I would love it if I could have a budget section in the back and a notes section, which I could do. I could get tabs. I could count pages. I could make sections, and it still is something that I might do if this doesn't work for me. Now, why might this not work for me? These pages are tiny, like tiny, tiny. So if you look at these pages, there's it up against my hand. Here's it up against the A6, which I knew that it was basically half a page. I know that these aren't quite true A6, but they're tiny. They're very, very tiny. I don't know if I can fit my life onto this page, but I'm going to try. So what I'm going to do now is set up this planner, and maybe for a month I'll use both planners, this one and this one, kind of see what I like, what I don't like, and maybe make a choice. Find some planner peace. I don't know. I may continue to live in planner chaos. We'll find out. So follow me along as I try to find planner peace in my life. The next video I'm going to make, I think, is setting this little guy up. Now, I didn't buy any inserts. I didn't buy any deco. This is actually all of the other things that I kind of have jumped in and out of. I either had, or the only other thing I bought was this. Everything else I had. So I didn't want to buy a lot of things for this notebook that I don't think, or that I don't know is going to work for me. The only thing I did buy was this little punch. And my idea is that I'm going to take the pages out of this. I'm going to rip them out, cut them down, punch them, and put them into here, and just kind of use the dot grid and kind of figure out if I'm going to like it before I go down that rabbit hole of buying inserts and buying deco and buying dashboards and all the things. So I hope that you enjoyed my planner chaos rant. If you did, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I'm going to get to working on setting these guys up. I'm going to do deeper flip throughs of all of these planners that we've looked at, and hopefully I can get my shit together for 2025. So have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.